Hello everyone, my name is RagingRaptor and I welcome you to a new weekly World of Tanks news video. And well, today I finally decided to put back on my good old friend, the green screen, which allows me to hide the huge mess I'm having behind me, which is caused by the fact that I constantly have to change my PC. But yeah, let's jump into the things we have today. Well, today's informations are from the 8th of May until the 15th of May, and well, this week we don't really have a lot of stuff. We have some informations, obviously 1.9.1 common test was released, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a rundown in another video, in a separate video, where we also look at the newest feature. Then there is a new Stridswagen 103B 3D style on the test server. We also got two new 2D styles. Obviously, this week the Object 780 hit the Supertest, and well, I'm going to talk about the plans I'm having with the Q&A, which Zircon just did. Huge, gigantic shout out to him for putting Andre under the sweat bench, really. Like, he was punching in some questions which were very well done, and I had high respect from all the questions they asked, and it was very, very nice to see how everything was, made. It was very, very interesting, really. And I'm looking forward to having, again, a look at the whole transcript which was made so far, a rough transcript was made by the German community manager Zapfan. Now, well, 1.9.1 common test 1, I do want to point out the number 1 up there. It's very important to notice, because this means most likely in the CT2 there might be other changes. I still have my hopes up that maybe we get the changes of the E100 in the CT2, but it is very unlikely, what I heard from different sources. But importantly, in 1.9.1, we're going to get Berlin as a real PvP map. There will be some rank changes. We got a low tier rebalance we already talked about, and well, a new 2D style as well as the progressive decals. Again, everything about 1.9.1 CT1 I'm going to put into a separate video. Now, the Stridswagen 103B 3D skin, and on one hand, it looks gorgeous, like it looks very, very cool, but on the other hand, I'm once again sitting here thinking, damn, the color underneath it is just boring, It's just green, there's no camouflage pattern added to it, everything around it looks great, but we again have the issue with the Super Conqueror, where sadly enough, there is nothing really interesting about the 2D style because there's just color lacking underneath it. Obviously, this is a 3D skin, meaning that you will be able to put on the new progressive decals, but you will not be able to put anything else onto that, like emblems, like inscriptions, or own colors. Again, the added 3D particles, or articles rather, like camo net, like this little roof over here, or the logs in general, they look cool, and they make this tank look a lot more believable to me personally as an outstander, or a person which isn't really involved into history, or excuse me, not history, but not really involved into tank design, or rather tank customization in the real life applications. But yeah, somebody from the vk.com did made a little comparison. Sorry when it's a little bit fast, but here it shows what everything changed from the normal style to the 3D style. Obviously, the logs, they do not give you additional armor. Nothing gives, it's just purely cosmetical, and I think they did a pretty decent job on this 3D style, because it still looks like the old one, just with added stuff on it. And this makes the style look just good in my eyes, like really well done. Then we're going to go to the Argentine Tango style, which is a 2D style, which I don't know what is going to happen with it, but it looks pretty decent. It looks colorful, Viva la Patria. I'm not sure, most likely something for an Argentine festival. I'm sorry, I'm really illiterate when it comes to the culture over there. But yeah, it looks pretty okay, and I'd say that's a no biggie. But yeah, Kupalskia Night style is also another style which Wargaming came forward with. Again, it should be for an event, at least on the Russian server. What exactly it is, it's hard to say. Again, it's very, very hard to say what is going on. Well, but now we go to the well, the Supertest news of this week. We already had a look at the Object 780, and my point still stands that it's, to be honest, it's super hard to judge if this tank will be overpowered or not. The DPM and the premium penetration doesn't really sound OP. The armor, mobility is pretty good, you know, but we can't really say how the armor model is. For example, is this part over here overmatchable? How thick are the cupolas? How thick is the armor on the side really? How thick is this part? Is this even modeled? Is this even modeled? How hard or how strong is the roof armor of this vehicle? One interesting point about those screenshots you can see right here, which I saw in my comment section, is that people were arguing about how the hell does a driver sit in here? It makes no sense, which is 100% accurate. And this is why this vehicle has 3 cupolas, I think. Most likely here we have the commander's cupola, maybe here the driver's cupola, and maybe here the gunner's cupola, because this looks like the gunner's sights. It's hard to tell, maybe it's even the driver in the middle, who knows, because he has to have a middle ground on this vehicle. As far as I know, this tank was a concept made with a 125mm rifle gun, which could also shoot ATGMs, but I'm not entirely sure. This was a project of the 1960s, so it is not too new for World of Tanks itself. There are speculations about that this tank will become a tier 10 Clan Wars reward tank for the upcoming summer campaign. Usually we already knew that in World of Tanks there is always a campaign in the early winter, or excuse me, at the late winter, at around January, February, and there will always be a campaign in the summer around June, July, or maybe even August. Obviously, I will most likely play this campaign, but again, it's good to see that Wargaming is introducing a new tank to keep it again interesting. On the other hand, I have to say, I'm not happy. I'm not happy that we are going to get another tier 10 reward, which in theory can lead to a bigger split between the casual player and the, well, Clan Wars players. Again, it looks like a very interesting vehicle. It looks like it could be strong, but it looks also like it could be meh. Again, those are the quick stats. We already went through them. 490 alpha, 236 base pen, 263 base pen, 305 premium pen. DPM is a little bit bad. 6 degrees of gun depression is great. Mobility is also great. It's comparable to the one of the 277, and the armor is fairly strong as well. The crew layout, however, it sucks. So, lastly, the Q&A with Zircon. Again, today I don't want to go into that as well because I'm still waiting for a real transcript of the whole interview. I just want to give my personal opinion on it. And I think amazing job that, and I have to quote Zircon on that, it was great that he was able to have a 101 conversation with Andrei Bilecki. There were no translators, and this was very important, I think. Because, again, Zircon just said it's amazing that they had just this 101. There was no translation error. Andrei had to think it's his own words in English, even though he is a Russian, a Russian native speaker. So it was very cool. And it was also cool to see in the beginning Andrei Bilecki talked about his origins, where he was actually working before at Montreal at Ubisoft for Assassin's Creed 3 and Black Flag. And I have to say, that was positively surprising. I enjoy Black Flag a lot, and it was one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games. He was apparently part of the team which worked on the ship combat, which in my opinion is a pretty darn well made concept in general, a combat thingy. But yeah, again, I'm going to have a little chat with Zircon Flex before I'm doing a proper video on it. I don't want to steal away his content. Obviously, I will try to break it down. It was a 2 hour and 30 minute long, well, roughly 2 hour long Q&A. And most likely I will try to break it down to around 30 minutes with my patented PowerPoint presentation method. No jokes aside. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It will be most interesting, I think, for my German community, because again, this was all in English, and well, you guys can English, but most of my German community will not be able to do that. But that's all I have for you today. Again, let me know if there is anything you think I can do better. It will be very, very important to know for me personally, because I always try to make a better video and always try to make myself a better presenter for you personal enjoyment. Obviously, lately I'm doing a lot of new specific stuff where, for example, things where I could help you with, like tactics, like gameplays, are a little bit on the back foot, but there are a lot of important things out there right now. Again, the Q&A with Zircon will be interesting. 1.9.1, which just came around, is in my opinion interesting. The different Supertest stuff we got. It's all the things I have more priority on than just casual gameplay. However, I will probably try to do things like live commentary or live gameplay, not just replay analysis, because in live gameplay there are no strings attached to it. I have to play perfectly or have to play well enough and give you some input on the fly, obviously, and it's probably a little bit more interesting than just cherry picking the best replays out there. And as a small little information about my PC, yay! My RAM is already exchanged. I once again have the new RAM right here. It's still sealed in its packaging. I got information today that there will be a new CPU sent to me. They are just most likely just exchanging it because they can't really repair it on the fly. So I just get a completely new CPU. And now I'm just waiting for the last component to get tested and maybe get exchanged. And this is the motherboard. And then I have high hopes that everything is gone on well again. I did had to stay up very late from Wednesday to Thursday, because I had to redo my whole system, because after installing my old CPU, my old motherboard, my old RAM again, there was huge complications because AMD and Intel do not like each other, so I have to completely wipe my M2 SSD with everything on it and had to reinstall Windows again. Anyway, that's everything I'm having for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it didn't annoy you too much to give you my personal stuff at the end. As always, thank you so much for your attention, and I hope you're having a pleasant day at the weekends. Cheers, guys.